Peace for Ukraine or Ukraine.
Có một người thanh thanh, môi đỏ và mắt xanh, tia nhìn như trăng rằm, nụ cười thơm như trầm. Cho ai về thao thức, muốn nói mà lặng câm, muốn nhìn mà quay mặt, khép nép tình trăm năm.
So what is it that makes one so humble? It is the vast knowledge of the universe that one could never understand enough that makes one humble. When, for example, when we are in primary school, we learn how to add numbers, like 4 and 4 makes 8, and 3 and 3 makes 6, and later we learn more complicated things. Like 1 tomato is $3, so if I buy 3 tomatoes, how much? And then later, somebody else buy again for me 1 tomato less, so I have only 2. So now how much do I have to pay, and how much that person, and all this kind of complication. And if we have solved this mystery, and we feel very proud, we come home and tell our parents how great we are at school, that we can make 1 tomato less and 2 tomatoes more without any problem. And we can make numbers working and running, and we feel so proud. And that is our small accomplishments, and we feel very proud. And later when we go to high school and college, this petty pride will wash itself away, because we know this is so little we know. Is that not so? Yes, similar things. Those who practice very little, they boast a lot. They like to let people know they have superpower and demonstrate it in public, or write books about it, and charge people money for it. Of course, that is the ultimate, okay? I cannot forget that. But those who practice at a very high level, they cannot use this thing anymore. They feel ashamed if they ever have to use it, if they are even forced to use it. Remember the story of Moses? When he came back to his kingdom before, he was banished for a while, and he went to the desert. And then he did not die, and then he had seen God, and he seen the flame, and he heard the thunder. Remember? As this is the inner vibration and the inner light. So now we know if we practice this method. Before I didn't know what it means. Why is God's voice like thunder? And then why is it he appears like a big flame? It sounds so terrible, so scary. But no, the fire isn't the fire, and the thunder isn't the thunder. The thunder is so soothing that we will want to listen to it again and again. It's not the thunderous and boisterous outside thunder, but it's the inner one that heals all kinds of sickness and ignorance and arrogance and all kind of misery. But I may inform you, the thunder inside even is not the highest sound that you should listen to. It's only one of those high beginners. There are others which are more enchanting, more wisdom offering, and I think, I don't know how to explain. It's everything in it. Now I just forgotten what is that, where I was before. I'm getting old. What was it? Moses, yeah. Now, when Moses came back to the king, he was showing off his miracles. He made the stick become a snake. Oh, and then afterward he repented. He said, I'm sorry. Forgive me, God, for misusing your power. And that is the attitude he should have in the beginning anyway. And remember the story of Jesus when he went to the marriage party, and he had to make wine out of water. Wasn't he so willing and so proud and so immediately doing this? No, he wasn't. He even slightly so-called scolded his mother. Why have you disclosed this thing to people? Is it not so? Yeah, he blamed his mother for being so kind of how you say,
Advertising?
yeah, actually, talk too much. Yeah, that's right. Actually, in this modern language, we may say like that, talk too much. But actually, because he respected his mother, and his mother already prepared everything. So he told the people, fill the jugs with water. He was forced into this situation, and he was so embarrassed. Yeah, that is the attitude of the wise. When they have to do these unavoidable things in unavoidable situations, they feel very ashamed, not proud. That is the way to discern between a real and a false master. The false master always advertise their small, petty, miraculous power. The real master never. If he has to do it, he does it in secret. Only the disciples know, and only when necessary, in order to help the disciples out of some awkward situation, or to heal their sickness, or to help them mentally, or to help them in their spiritual progress. And the disciples know so well how great their master is, and they know very well. They alone know. No wonder when Jesus or Buddha were alive, people were worshiping them like God, because they knew how great the masters were. Only they knew. And so the outside people looked at them, worshiping them, their masters, like God, worshiping them more than the average priests and monks or other so-called prophets. Then they became jealous, they became angry. So arose all kinds of attacks and harm to them. If only these real masters demonstrated to the people at large how great they are and how many kinds of miraculous power they possess, then you could imagine how many people will run to them. They don't have to do anything more, do not have to spend so much money, just go on TV and do some tricks. Yeah? And that would be enough. Or heal some sick people in front of thousands. And that will be the end of their mission. Everybody would come to their feet, and no need to do any more advertisement, and no need to work so very hard and run from one place to another. But they are not to do that. They cannot. They are not in a position to do so, and they are so humble to do so. They cannot even imagine doing such thing. That is the problem. But only their disciples know how great they are, and any kind of power the master does possess. There is nothing in this universe that doesn't belong to a real master, like Jesus or Buddha, or anyone that has attained their level. The whole universe is their home. Every living thing, every grass belongs to them and obeys them at will. But they do not exercise this authority on anything because they have the quality of God. And God is free will, freedom, live and let live, love and love only. No pressure, no pushing, no controlling, no hinting, no tricking, no using any power to convert people, but using wisdom, logic only, in order to appeal to their own wisdom so that they themselves awaken. They awaken themselves, not by any power or hypnotism. The master can hypnotize, can do all kinds of power, all kinds of miracles, but they don't, because they came from God, and God is all free. God is not interfering with people's business. God doesn't mess around, mess in others' affairs. He lets you alone to decide which path you follow, which way of life you choose, and which realm you want to enter. If you want to go to heaven, it's open. If you want to go to hell, it's also free of charge. But the road to heaven is difficult to follow because narrow is the way that leads to life. Broad is the way that leads to destruction, and so many will walk therein. Why is it the road to God is so narrow? Some even say it's like a razor's edge, no? So sharp and so difficult to walk on. It is because the road and the way to it is contradictory to our way of thinking and to the worldly desires and temptations. We have to swim in the ocean, but also have to protect our clothes from getting wet. That's how hard it is. We have to live in this world with all temptations and struggles, and yet we have to keep discipline and purity like the lotus born from the mud, but so pure and clean and so fragrant. And that's how we have to become saints in hell. In Buddhism, there is a saint. Legend has it that he is forever in hell because he vowed to save the sentient beings in hell. Now, we imagine no one can live in hell because hell is so hot, full of fire and all kinds of punishments. How can a saint, a bodhisattva, it means a Buddha of the second degree, can live in hell and forever live there? It is possible. By the force of compassion and the power of love, you become immutable to any harm and to any traps. An ordinary person, if we go to hell, we immediately get burned, and we cannot bear the heat of it. But a saint, or anyone who practices the saintly path, can go there and visit and have no harm. It is because of the protection power from the Master. It means God's protection. Now we all know that we all have God inside because God is within you. We are told like that in the Bible. Then why couldn't we find Him? Because we're too busy. We have no time to make contact with Him. And whenever we have time, then we go to church. And then we talk a lot. We sing a lot. Also busy. Busy looking at the words in the Bible, otherwise we will sing it wrong. Or do some rituals wrong, making the priest angry. So we are always busy with the outside performance and have no room to have an intimate talk with God. Therefore we cannot find Him. That is the only secret.
Ai có biết lòng ai kẻ ấp chẳng nên lời, hãy nhìn trong đáy mắt bao sóng tình lên khơi, tình vui